Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, this works great. Let's try that again. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much. It's such a thrill to be here with all of you today at Collide. My name's Melissa Hadley, and I'm an AI strategist at IBM. I'm also a wanderer when I talk, but I'm going to try to stay close to the podium so I'm lit. Being on stage really makes me think of my day job. Not because I'm famous, don't worry, you don't have to take any pictures, I won't sign anything. But because as a strategist, I'm often behind the scenes and in the scenes, on stage, backstage. But today I'm really excited to take all of you on what I'm figuring is a little bit of a backstage pass on the future of work with AI agents. We have all seen Gen AI do so much. Generate text, images, even write code. However, today I'm going to talk about everybody's favorite buzzword. It's a word that I'd argue has completely reformed how we look at work when it comes to AI. You probably guessed it. Yes, I'm talking about AI agents. We know the ones, the tools that are autonomous and they learn from doing, and they're personalized and proactive. They're not just tools anymore. They've really become digital partners. Some interesting statistics for you here. By the end of this year alone, 2025, 85% of enterprises will have used agentic AI in some way. Further, half of these enterprises, likely by the following year, will bring agentic AI into their enterprise applications. This is surprising because, as most of you can relate to, for the last several decades, working with enterprise applications is an art, right? The experience is often full of complex but strong user interfaces. They require specialized knowledge and maybe even specialized training. I bet each of you in the audience could think of a tool or two in your day-to-day that totally fits this bill. And maybe you're even proud that you've mastered how to use one more piece of it, right? But AI agents are completely changing this. They're changing the level of accessibility even folks that aren't technically savvy have to technology and to AI. This means that anyone, regardless of technical skill, can gain business value and can use AI agents. This is exciting, of course, but let's talk about what it means. We are in a completely new age right now that I would call systems of intelligence. Just by a raise of hands, not that I can see you all very well with these lovely lights, but how many of you have heard of systems of intelligence before? Look around. That's almost no one. Good, we're unpacking, we're learning something. I like this. So let's unpack the concept. We started with things like systems of record, okay? These are our vaults that we know and love. CRMs, ERPs, our HRIS systems. Adjacent to these, we have systems of engagement. This is how we interact with these tools, our applications, our websites, as an example. Don't worry, I didn't leave out systems of insight. These are our analytics, right? Our dashboards, where we get our insight from. But in human nature, right, knowledge is never enough. And so we've moved one more shift, and I don't know if everyone's noticed it or not. We've moved to systems of intelligence through the power of AI agents. These aren't dashboards, they're doers. These aren't just insights, these are being acted upon insights. AI agents are even executing complex workflows through all of these systems that I just mentioned. Now, while AI agents bring arguably major excitement, we're going to talk about some of the challenges here in a moment. But I want to remind all of us that the user interface of work is absolutely changing. No longer are knowledge workers I'd argue maybe painstakingly becoming experts in those systems of record and intelligence like we were talking about. Instead, they're engaging with proactive, personalized, connected, predictive AI agents that are helping them execute their day-to-day. The complexity of our systems is almost hidden by AI agents. And the de-siloing of information is a great, great result. Now, this is real right now, today, the power of AI agents. We're seeing it here at IBM. Today, across almost our entire enterprise, we have AI agents bringing productivity and innovation to almost every department. Just to name a few, for example, in HR, we're seeing AI agents handle 94% of inquiries. In sales, we're seeing team members that get a quarter of their work week back. Even in procurement, we're seeing speeds of sourcing and contracting and all that paperwork much faster, to the tune of 70%. Now, I alluded to it earlier, right? This is exciting. The potential is unlimited, but limitations and challenges are popping up everywhere. Let's talk about 3 big ones. The first one, AI agents are often designed and deployed in silos. For example, maybe HR has an AI agent, and then finance has one too, and then maybe the IT help desk has some kind of chat bot, maybe it's an assistant, these are all different, right? But everyone's somewhere on the journey. That's great, except for most of us, leaders, innovators, change makers, or just regular employees. We work cross-departmentally frequently. It's really challenging to operate across these disciplines in a seamless way because there are so many of them. It's like, tabs everywhere on our laptops. The second challenge that we're seeing often is AI agents aren't often well integrated with those core systems I was talking about earlier. Systems of record, systems of intelligence, our CRMs, our ERPs, our HRIS systems, the list continues. And by default, that halts our ability to maximize return and impact from an AI agent perspective. Because the data that lives in those systems is really important. And the work that we do in those systems is really important. It's our day-to-day. We're now managing this new challenge that I'll call agent sprawl. It feels like, even as an AI strategist, every time I visit an application that I haven't touched in a while, I'm noticing a little blue speech bubble or something in the corner, and there's AI proliferating everywhere. Someone said earlier today, my toothbrush got an AI update. I'm like, yes, that's very relatable, right? Managing this is challenging, the sprawl, right? But even more than that, moving from exciting experimentation to actual enterprise-grade deployment requires so much specialized knowledge, expertise, time, budget. How do enterprises move past these challenges to actually get value out of AI agents? Let's talk about it. By a show of hands, how many of you are familiar with the concept of an orchestrator agent? Okay, there's a lot more hands. Take a glance around. A lot more than before. Good. For those that are new, or perhaps it's worth it because it's a buzzword to kind of group define, right? Orchestrator agents are master supervisors in terms of AI work across the enterprise, right? I mean, they almost act as nervous systems, unifying AI regardless of vendor, regardless of coding language together. Now, orchestrator agents are also very good at collaboration. They're almost these multi-agent supervisor router planners that understand the task from the user and decide which agent, right, or which combination of collaborating agents is best suited to get the work done. Now, when you connect, right, these orchestration agents to those systems of record, those systems of insight, the existing AI, your databases, and more, there is a paradigm shift here. Because once you add all of those pieces together, so the orchestration agent, other agents across your enterprise, and then those systems that we were talking about, you unlock a new way of working. IBM built this very way of working, and I'll talk a little bit about it here in just a moment. We call it IBM watsonx Orchestrate. And for those of you that are history buffs, maybe you followed IBM's near 114-year history. The name Watson means a lot to us. We're very, we like to reuse words and comment on our history. It's very sweet. Watson was a former CEO, Sir Thomas Watson Jr. But you might have also heard about our supercomputer named Watson that ruled the 2000s and was beating people on Jeopardy on national television and winning at chess all over the globe. We're particularly proud of the Watson name, and we use it wherever we can. Now, watsonx Orchestrate is a single unified AI hub. It acts as that multi-agent supervisor, planner, and router, enabling the collaboration between AI agents, whether they're built in watsonx Orchestrate, which we'll talk about in a moment, or perhaps they're open source or from third parties. This orchestrator agent IBM has currently in deployment right now, and it is orchestrating and supervising the use of AI for over 200,000 employees in 170 countries, with hundreds of agents collaborating under the covers. And of course, watsonx Orchestrate today at IBM is plugged into all of our core applications, whether it might be Salesforce, our CRM, or SAP, which we use for HR, or the list goes on. And every time we build a connector, we publish it and share it with the teams that use watsonx as well. Now, let me talk a little bit, before I get ahead of myself, let me talk a little bit about some of the capabilities behind watsonx Orchestrate that really help us get over those challenges I was talking about earlier, the siloing, the lack of connection, the specialized skills necessary. And the first one I'll highlight is the agent catalog. This is your one-stop shop in watsonx Orchestrate, where you can find and, of course, edit pre-built agents, customized agents, and more. It's all about being able to lower the barrier of entry and increase the speed at which we can deploy AI across our enterprise. The next component that's really worth highlighting is Agent Connect. IBM has been known for over 100 years as an ecosystem partner. I had such a pleasure of talking with some of you about our partner network at our booth earlier today. IBM knows that innovation comes from collaboration, from open source. We bought Red Hat for $34 billion just a few years ago to enhance our commitment to open source and community growth, right? The Agent Connect program opens watsonx Orchestrate to all of our partners, including every one of you, to build on top of the technology and bring the unique agents that you all have in your enterprises to our catalog. Today, just our internal HR AI agent alone handles over 11 million interactions annually. That's just the HR AI agent. We've built so many after that. Externally, our clients that are using watsonx to empower conversations across the globe are seeing 10, 11-fold of conversations. It's 1 billion conversations a month handled by watsonx for our clients. Imagine being able to bring your unique solutions into our catalog. The contracting is simple, I hear, and it's a great commercial opportunity for us to continue to work together. You might have heard of the AI Alliance. We're co-founders of that. The IBM AI Ethics Board inspires how governance is leveraged from an AI perspective across industries all over the globe. So it's not a bad time to continue to partner and make as much as we can communal knowledge. Now, I talked about partnering from a technology perspective, but I want to add to that because IBM's not new to the concept of partnering. We have hundreds of ecosystem partners today, logos you might even recognize, right, on the top of the screen. We've built hundreds of integrations so that agents can easily connect with tools like this and so many more. We also have partnerships from a deployment perspective with all kinds of companies like AWS and Oracle Cloud for flexibility of deployment. IBM truly believes, one, that everyone should have access to AI, but two, AI should be able to be as agile, customizable, and ecosystem-friendly as possible to meet clients where they are, because that's what AI did for us internally when we deployed watsonx. We also believe that anyone, regardless of technical skill, should be able to build an agent in just minutes. And you'll see a little bit, I've got a mini demo that I'm super excited to show all of you of how that works. But again, I can't belabor the point enough. We want everyone, regardless of technical skill, whether it's an HR manager, a procurement professional, a sales rep, whatever, to be able to access the technology without needing to learn code or Python, the language of AI right now, in our agent builder. There are a couple of highlights to make this possible. The first is in watsonx Orchestrate, you can find domain-specific agents of all kinds. I'll just highlight a few. There's one for sales, there's one for HR, there's one for procurement, and they're not templates that are editable like I mentioned earlier. These are pre-built, ready-to-go governance and guidelines already built in for quick deployment across the enterprise. Right, this changes the time to market and the access to AI value for so many departments across organizations. The next thing I'll highlight is our no-code agent builder. This doubles down on the idea that anyone should be able to build, strong, unique, multifaceted agents wherever they may sit in their technical journey. And you can do that in our no-code agent builder, right? The next thing that I'll highlight is, of course, we're a technology company, right? Of course, we have an interface for ProCode as well called our Agent Developer Kit that supports agents being able to make completely custom AI and test it from scratch. You can do this all on your laptop, and you'll get to see in a little bit even a view of the command line and what that experience is like. Because yes, no code is key, but ProCode is also critical. We're not leaving behind development communities, engineers, the folks that are making this technology possible. So we support their ideals as well through watsonx Orchestrate. The last thing I'll share with you here is our tool builder, powered by Model Context Protocol. Model Context Protocol, for those of you that are less familiar, is a communication protocol that allows agents to connect to and collaborate with systems. Not each other, but those systems of record, those systems of engagement, right? Here in our tool builder, we made it possible for our team members who are building agents to also bring in tools, maybe I'll call them workflows, that are from those systems. Imagine being able to transfer an employee in your HR system or reset your intranet password, all through the power of the orchestrator agent. This allows us to reuse those workflows because AI and automation are a perfect match. Now, we talked a lot about multi-agent orchestration and obviously watsonx Orchestrate, but there's a subcategory in here that I want to double click on for a moment, and it refers to multi-agent task execution. This is what powers those ideas that I was sharing with you earlier around multi-step, multi-system execution of processes. It's so much different than just task automation like we're used to. The terminology is getting rebranded. We're moving away from maybe RPA and moving into allowing orchestrator agents to work with multiple systems and execute 7, 8, 9, and more step processes for the user. This is completely changing productivity. And we talked about some of those challenges earlier, integration, connection to systems. That's why those things are so important, because these are recipes for return on investment, value, productivity. And lastly, Agent Ops is a huge part of IBM's watsonx Orchestrate platform. We are a leader in governance and security and have been for many years. We are proud to support the United States government, our armed forces, with our AI technology at IBM. The Agent Ops platform provides traceability, transparency, the ability to look back and understand an agent's actions, even failure alerts. And there's just a view here of one of the dashboards taking a look at some trace details, because this is key. The black box challenge that so many of us ran into with Gen AI didn't quite get solved for agentic AI until now. So now I'm going to jump into a little bit of a demo, okay? This is going to be a video, and I'll talk over it. Right now, we're in our agent catalog, and what you'll see me do is customize an agent as if perhaps I was a sales rep and wanted to create something for my own. Right now, we're scrolling through and taking a look at how many different featured agents are visible to me today. They're organized by all sorts of different disciplines, aligned to the line of business, because that's where we're really unlocking the impact. If we want to, perhaps, create our own agent or edit an existing agent, what we'll be doing is actually searching the catalog and editing something that already exists. That really helps team members who want to work in a no-code way gain value faster. So we're going to take a look here and search in the catalog for any existing sales agents. And you'll see there are plenty from IBM, from partner vendors like Salesforce, and many others. I mean, the list is extensive and didn't fit the screen. We're going to go ahead and click the IBM Sales Prospecting Agent and walk through a flow of customizing that. Once you click on it, you can see there's all sorts of information. Descriptions that can be modified, tools that exist today that the agent can access. Some of those tools you might have noticed were access to data or other systems. This looks like it's going to work for us, so we're going to use it as a template to create our sales prospecting agent. Now, we've copied over the agent. You can see that in the corner. And of course, everything is modifiable. For example, the description, what large language model we'd like to use, that's completely flexible at IBM. You can bring your own. You can even bring your own knowledge, like documents, data repositories, PDFs for retrieval augmented generation. And here we have some tools that are already available to the user. But I'll show you just quickly here what it's like to create a new tool or bring in a workflow from somewhere else. Now, we won't build it out today, but it just gives you a view of how much we're empowering users with the technology. This is just a snapshot view of a workflow. We're adding in how to score and prioritize those leads that the seller generates through their personalized prospecting AI agent. You can see the workflow, it's easy to edit and move around, and it's in natural language, so users that are non-technical have no trouble getting the hang of this tool. Once we add it in, you can see here, fetching client contacts and scoring prioritized leads are two new skills that are now available for the agent to use. Now, it's also important to keep in mind, right, that as a sales rep, you're also an employee, right? Perhaps you are looking to add other agents because this is a personalized tool you're building for yourself. Maybe you add in something like something from the catalog, like a HR type Q&A agent and an agent from the CRM too. So we'll add in the CRM agent, which is pre-built, comes from our Salesforce catalog of tools, and you can have that collaborate with this prospecting agent to create more personalization, pull in account information, and more. Now, let's take a look at how this will work together. So you can see that if we test things out, we're going to take a look at some of those collaborating agents. You see, we asked a question, can you tell me a little bit about some of the companies that I cover that are a certain size? You'll see that the agent is actually collaborating with some of the tools on the left-hand side, one of which brings company data from Dun & Bradstreet. Over on the right-hand side, we can see it's working. We've tested it out. We're feeling empowered that it's going to bring us what we need when we use it live, so we can keep moving. We'll also take a look on the other side. I talked about the agent developer kit, right? That's something very important in IBM, being able to empower those technical developers and engineers. This is the exact same flow. The use case is adding actually a couple more pieces, a procurement agent, and some other tools that the seller might need to collaborate with on their day-to-day. You can see the command line and the user interface. But the point is that we support both use cases because both user stories are always going to continue to interact with AI in this new way of working. Now we're back to the view where we're testing it out in the no-code environment, and you can see that the seller is going to type in some questions here. Can you help me identify some accounts in retail industry? That worked. And maybe they'll change their mind. They want to book vacation. That's an HR question. But the orchestration allows them to collaborate with the right HR agents that they found in the catalog, and they have a personalized experience. Lastly, let's say they completely change their mind, they pivot. Generative AI and agentic AI are really strong when it comes to understanding the shift in your intent and not stumbling on the fact that it's a different topic, right? So let's say the question becomes, hey, I need a new laptop. I'm having trouble with my device. This is more of an IT help desk related question, but the agent can handle it nonetheless. But I'm going to switch something up on us here for just a moment. I do most of my communication with my colleagues, with my team in Slack. That's our preferred platform of messaging. It's no problem. We can just move the conversation to Slack. watsonx Orchestrate exists wherever your teams communicate and collaborate with. So you can see the conversation populated in Slack. And this is another place where that seller will get personalized proactive alerts from other systems that are plugged in, all thanks to the power of an orchestrator agent. In summary, what you just saw on the screen was just a snippet, the art of the possible, of the experience of a non-technical user or a developer building customized AI agents powered by the IBM catalog in watsonx Orchestrate. You saw some tracing, you saw some editing and testing, you even saw the user add in things that are out of scope, I'll use air quotes on purpose, to their original goal, but we're empowering them to create tools that fit their needs, their uniqueness as a day-to-day employee. IBM's point of view here is that when you combine agents, orchestrator agents, and those systems of record and insight that aren't going away, you completely unlock the future of work. The user interface we're all used to that maybe we've mastered a little bit and are proud to use, right, has totally changed, and it gives enterprise flexibility at a scale that none of us may have even realized. I'll leave you with this interesting example. IBM went through a massive HR transformation, which my colleague Mr. Zombo spoke about yesterday morning around 10:30. We were building an AI HR agent that completely transformed the way that IBMers interacted with HR. During that build, we cut our contract with Workday. I'm sorry if they're here. I don't know why we left you. I'm so sorry. But we cut our contract with Workday and moved over to SAP. However, the user interface of HR was an AI agent. So most employees were not aware of the switch. As a matter of fact, even as a lead AI strategist at our organization, I wasn't aware of it either. This is what I mean by changing the user interface of work. And when we do this at scale, we bring AI and we put it to work together in our organizations. Thank you so much for coming to our talk today. The IBM team is outside in the booth. You can also scan to learn more about watsonx Orchestrate or read a little bit about me and the work that I do as an AI strategist. Appreciate all your time. Thank you.